Hello, collective. Welcome back to my channel. This is Divine Eye Mystic Tarot, back with another general reading. Hopefully, you all are doing extremely well, blessed, and highly favored. This is a general reading, so only take what resonates, leave the rest. Make sure you're doing your return to senders. Make sure you're calling for your energy back from people, places, things, items that you no longer have any use for, from any individual that you may have cut off. Um, this is a new path. This is a new journey. You know what I'm saying? So start new, start fresh. For those of you that are new on your journey, sending you love and light on your spiritual journey. Keep moving forward. There are going to be people that you're going to have to move out of the way. There are going to be times when you feel lonely, but you're not. You're not. All right? Counsel with your spirit team. Ask for signs that you are going to be aware of for the answers. Okay? If you need to see a certain color, throughout the day to give you that yes or no to something, make sure you're asking for signs in situations that you need answers to. All right? Make sure there's signs that you are going to be aware of, that you're making, effort to pay attention to. Okay? Especially the things around you. All right? Whether they're traffic signs, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's in nature, whether it's in your work environment, ask for signs that you're going to be aware of. All right? For those answers. If you're not sure. But you're never going to be alone. All right? But we're going to pull a few cards, get a message out. But, yeah, don't feel as though you know what I'm saying, have to deal with some of the things that you're being faced with, or, the repercussions of things when it comes to you making decisions. Because, yeah, you're going to have to cut some people out of your life. Maybe not forever, but at least for you to take a step back, because maybe you have made excuses not to. Especially at a time like now, when it's even more important to stay focused and go towards your mission, your calling, the thing that, is waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? And has been. All right. So, yeah, we're going to pull a few cards, get a message out. But overall, hopefully the message resonates, collective, and or is helpful. All right. Or you get in it for the vibe, your choice. Completely up to you. All right. Show me what I need to see. Show me what I need to see. First card out, you got pick out a dog together. Somebody could want to pick out a dog together with you. Anything else? Next card. Did the most to see if you still love me, Divine Feminine. Somebody did things. They played games. They may have put, certain put you in certain situations, or, behaved in a way where they wanted to see what your response would be, to see if you, after all that, would still love them. If I did this, if I did that, if I act like this, would they still love me? Would they still be around? Somebody plays too damn much. This is how people get played. You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody know you doing that, they already done decided that you're not their person, or they already done decided that's not. And these are the kind of people that are, or come, up as, oh, I don't like drama. I try to stay away from drama. Them be the same people that be playing them kind of games, and they done come back and bite them in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Anything else? Somebody hoping you'll say yes. Say yes. Anything else on this message? Somebody could be in their 30s, man or woman. You could be in your 30s. Somebody's in their 30s. Whoever this reading resonates with, or whatever part of this reading resonates with you. Next card, try God, not dark divination. It came out in reverse. So somebody may have, in the past, they may have, tried some dark divination in the past, to get something to go their way instead of just, letting the universe and trusting the Most High God to have their best interests at heart, especially if it's something they deserve. If they felt like they were not going to get something to go their way because, they played, the wrong game with the wrong person at the wrong time. Somebody tried some dark divination that, put them in a bad situation instead of them trying God. So that's probably why somebody's sitting out here, feeling as though like they did the most, to see if you'll still love them. Divine feminine, I could be talking to an empress, a high priestess. Pick out a dog together. Somebody could have lost a pet a while back, and it may have taken them a while to possibly even go toward getting another pet. Maybe they don't want to feel like they're replacing that pet, but they may, have gotten to that point of wanting to pick out a pet now, after some time that went by and they, have gotten past, whatever that pet meant to them, so that they can, carry on and possibly, give some, some love and enjoyment to another pet. So for some of you or somebody in particular, this is somebody that may have lost a pet in the past, whether you know about it or not. And it just may have taken them some time to get back into, the care and the feelings and the emotions that, came with them losing a pet and them, moving on and possibly getting another one just out of them not wanting to feel as though like they replacing that pet or looking for that pet in a new pet. You know what I'm saying? Looking for that pet in a new pet, just like a person. Like you don't want to look for the ways of another pet in another pet or the connection you have with one pet in another pet. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be the same with a new pet. It's something new, but some people just, feel like, they don't want to move on to a new pet because they don't want to be in that mind of thinking or want that pet to think that they're trying to replace them. But, that pet may feel as though that it's time for you to move on, or they, are encouraging this person, to, look at that as an option, still, especially if they feel like that would help this person get over them. And not just them, just some things, personally that may go on with them. And this is like, perhaps, when they talk about those pets that are trained, to a service pet. So, yeah. But this is somebody that may want you to pick out a dog with them. Pick out a dog together. They could be in their 30s. You could be in your 30s. Give me one more on this reading. On this message, give me one more. Somebody was a jerk. Anything else? Yeah. Somebody regret that they didn't really show you how they felt, or they didn't tell you. Regret that I didn't show you how I really felt for you, how I really felt, or how they feel. So this could, be them, at one time they may have felt like, that was something they were trying to inch around to, you know what I'm saying, when it came to them possibly like trying to express to you how they felt, in a roundabout way. And this could have been somebody, I feel like they did not want to tell you how they really felt because they didn't know, how things would go with you, or they did not know like how you really felt about them. So it's like they wanted to see if your feelings matched how they felt at the time. Somebody fell for you deeper than you thought they did. Deeper, yeah. Like you may have fell for this person, but you may not have known how much this person felt deeply for you. And it may have been sooner than they expected. They may have been somebody that, fall in love fast or catch feelings fast or something like that. Somebody could be like a hopeless romantic or something like that. A lover boy. You know what I'm saying? Not by nature, I'm just saying, they feel deeply even though, they may not express it. They may have a I would say toxic, but they got some, immature way of how they express it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's because they shy, but this is like somebody that will create certain obstacles and situations with you to see how you feel about them. But this is somebody that is trying to protect their own feelings and end up getting their feelings hurt because they did that. That's what I'm getting. Like somebody made 4 cups, like somebody played games. They did some things that didn't require them to have to do that. All they had to do was just ask you, and you may have told them how you felt, but they struggle with expressing their own emotions. Somebody struggle with expressing their own emotions. Let me go with this dig. And now somebody in a lot of regret that they didn't tell you how they felt. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a possibility you may not go back to them, whoever this is. Whether it's a lover, whether it's a friend. You got a lot of people in regret, when it comes to how they played their hand or how, they see something now. And it's, giving collective because you were where you were at a time, you know what I'm saying, where you had to learn some lessons about yourself through people that, still think of the moments when you were in your South Node, when you were down and out, when you were younger and you were, you know what I'm saying, you were out there head first. Now you're not, you know what I'm saying, and you look back on the moments now, and like most people will say, those moments made you who you are today. You know what I'm saying, to be able to speak on what you speak on, feel the way you feel about stuff, or share your story because you done been there, you done that. You just not what you've been through. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we all have had to experience some situations, some pivoting points in our life. You know what I'm saying? That done took us. You know what I'm saying, for a ride. You know what I'm saying? But it was necessary for us to get the lesson. You know what I'm saying? The assignment is what it is. We have no control over what that assignment is once we get here. Of course, we put it together and have it all thought out in the ethers. But once we come through that birth canal and start living life and, getting to where we at right now, like something has to really stun us or traumatize us in a way to where, it fast tracks us, to where we need to be at. To awaken us to wherever we're supposed to be at. at that point on our timeline in our life. You know what I'm saying? So that's different. Everybody's calling is different. Everybody's awakening is going to be at a different time. Depends on them. It depends on them. You know what I'm saying? So somebody was a jerk though. Clarify, try God, not dark divination. Try God, not dark divination. Clarify. You got the Six of Cups and the Eight of Wands. And the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. Somebody either having some nostalgia, or is somebody, thinking a lot, they getting a lot of downloads. Yeah, okay. So somebody is having to deal with the downloads that they getting when it comes to trying God. I feel like somebody, is thinking a lot about how they being seen or something like that. Like the thoughts and the memories somebody's having is coming back to them, like rushing back to them real fast. With the Chariot at the bottom of the deck with the Nine of Cups, it's giving like somebody, moving forward toward what they feel like, is going to be like that final thing that they do, you know what I'm saying, in order to achieve some type of success. So it's like, I got to go through this. I got to, what I'm saying, like I got to figure myself out. I got to face, some of the things. I got to face these things about myself, that I'm going to have to deal with moving forward. I'm going to have to, accept how I'm being seen and, the things I've caused or it's like that. It's like somebody feeling as though like this moving on, this forward movement is like having to deal with all the things is going to come with the criticism, you know what I'm saying? The things that you have to realize about yourself, the accountability you have to take, the things that you thought you was in control of and you wasn't, the things you thought, somebody else, getting involved in or involving other people in was the best and it wasn't. So it's like if somebody was, considering using dark divination or something like that, or somebody was suggesting it or brought it up or something like that, it's giving like somebody realizing, that even if they did something like that, Aries, Leo, said with this Eight of Wands, like somebody, get a lot of downloads with this Eight of Wands, like somebody get a lot of communication, but I feel like there's some big changes coming, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to whatever somebody thinking about, when it comes to their memories, their emotions, you know what I'm saying, like whatever somebody think of you, they feel like they need to, it come in fast, like somebody get hit hard by their feelings. They get in their feel. I don't know if somebody was trying to avoid catching feelings, but it made it worse. Like it's like being, because at this point, like now I feel like I'm lost for words. Like that's how somebody feel. Like if somebody want to tell you how they feel, they probably don't even know where they want to start because they felt it for so damn long, or they got a rush of emotions. You know what I'm saying? That they really probably couldn't even explain or know why. those feelings came up about you or why they feeling that way about you. But whatever it is, it's like coming in fast. And I feel like whatever it is that they have to deal with is themselves, and it's, the actions that they took, especially when it came to them, taking accountability, and accepting whatever is going to come with them, you know, um, you know what I'm saying? Like if somebody's scared to say, will you marry me? I ask you, will they marry, will you marry me? Like they having to accept coming into terms with being afraid of, asking that question, but also giving some type of foundation or some type of explanation as to why somebody would take them seriously enough to think that that's what they really want. You know what I'm saying? Like if you didn't take somebody seriously, or somebody didn't feel like you took them seriously, they for them to ask you to marry them, or pick out a pet with me, they may feel like you ain't gonna really think that they talking my shit with that either. Like you just trying to waste some more of my time. And that's only because they played some games that was trying to determine how you felt about them, or how far they could go with you and you still love them and not leave. Like somebody's afraid of you leaving them if they show you how they felt. You know how somebody feel like this is somebody that probably feel as though like when somebody in the past, or when they feel like somebody going your strong will, like somebody's very strong will. This is somebody that is not used to dealing with somebody that don't need them emotionally. You may want somebody to love you and be for real with you and serious about you and stuff like that, but this is somebody that may fall hard for people too fast, too soon, or something like that. And they only want this person for what they can get out of them. But they left with feelings for somebody that used them. Now, they may have come across somebody else like you, collective, that wasn't in need of nothing from them. Never really even asked them for anything. They don't really know what to even give you because you're not a materialistic person. That's just what I'm picking it up and I'm putting it down. But this is somebody that don't know what to give somebody that have what they need, and they don't ask for much, and they don't care about materialistic stuff like that. So the only thing left is how you feel. And if this person feels as though you can live without them and still love yourself, that's something they are extremely scared of. When it comes to telling you how they feel and explaining to you how they feel about you, because you can love on you without that validation of love from them. It would be nice, to have that reciprocated back, but this is somebody that does things to try to see if a person loves them, and it's a toxic thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's immature. But when you master yourself, you realize you can look back on those moments and realize that was immature of me to do that. Because now you see other people around you doing it, and you can call it out because you done did it before. Now you seeing where somebody had to be at in order for them to be that damn immature. So when you realize and you pick up on somebody's behavior, like that, you can familiarize yourself with it because you done did it before. Now you see how it look on the outside looking in when somebody make that move, you know what I'm saying, out of that feeling of emotion, you know what I'm saying, because they afraid. So it's like, yeah, somebody having some nostalgia when it comes to taking some type of action, but it's coming towards you. It's like, even if somebody was using, like sending you a wave of memories, like, wanting to make you think of them, you know what I'm saying? And just had you constantly thinking of them to where, you would come back around to them, fast. Like they wanted something to happen real fast. So it's like, them trying to manipulate the energy, you know what I'm saying? That of your thoughts of them. Clarify this Six of Cups by itself. What's that Six of Cups by itself about? The Lovers in reverse. With the Seven of Cups at the bottom of the deck. And this could have been like a trust issue, especially when somebody may have thought, you know, beauty didn't come with brains or something like that. Like somebody, may have thought somebody was too nice looking or too beautiful, to be smart, you know what I'm saying, or be capable of like thinking outside the box, or not somebody will feel like, because somebody's so beautiful, they may be gullible. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody may not have thought that somebody. Because at this point, with this Lovers in reverse, is also giving, a separation, a breakup. But I feel like it may have had a lot to do with like some trust issues or something like that. Because if this person had other options, like with this Seven of Cups out here, like if they, got distracted or had other options, or they had other things going on that, kind of flooded they line of energy, you know what I'm saying, their capacity of like what it was that they needed to be emotionally, building off of. Like somebody had something constantly, or they were constantly pulling at a lot of different people's emotions, or this person deal with a lot of different people because they don't want to be emotionally available, to have to be committed, and responsible for how they handle and receive other people's emotions. This is why like I said, somebody play a lot of games, but this is in a South Node toxic, karmic kind of way, to where, you do a lot of things that most people think is love language, like healthy love language, and it ain't. It's not. Like some people feel as though if you ain't slapping the shit out of them, talking shit about them, or blowing their phone up or keying their car, that you don't love them. Some folks like that toxic shit. They, they'll put their dude or they'll put their female in some fucked up situations to where they gotta fight, for their safety. They gotta, you know what I'm saying? You got people that, like one incident, this dude, he pulled up with a new female to pew pew his baby mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, not even caring that he got an offspring with somebody and they gonna grow up possibly without both of their parents, but you let somebody you moved on to do it. Take another, your child mama. Like, they gotta deal with that. You know what I'm saying? We not knowing how that little boy is gonna be raised and how they gonna look and view relationships and stuff like that. But the safety, you know what I'm saying, that go along with it is important, you know what I'm saying? But with this Lovers in reverse, is giving like somebody, got some trust issues, that may have came up and caused a separation. Because somebody knows that, this is something that's going to cause somebody to like have some, you know what I'm saying? Like they know that it's some trust has been broken here. Could have been a betrayal, you know what I'm saying? But if somebody leaving another person because they having a lot of thoughts and, stuff like that about somebody from their past, if somebody thinking about you from their past, Six of Cups, Aries, Leo, Sag, like somebody is definitely like wanting to take some swift action to like keep somebody from like seeing something or trusting somebody or something like that, or getting back together. Like somebody don't want another person to see another person as they person or something like that. Because you got the Seven of Cups at the bottom of the deck and you got the Page of Cups. Somebody don't want another person to see something. But it's like they got options, or somebody got other distractions, that they got going on, or causing a lot of distractions. But it's like somebody got a lot of shit going on in their energy that is causing a lot of illusions and confusion. And somebody in the past needed to try God, not, some dark divination. Got the Seven of Cups at the bottom of the deck. You got the Page of Cups and the Three of Swords. And the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, somebody was definitely breadcrumbing, but I feel like they, were one-sided about something. Like somebody held back they energy. Like somebody didn't give something they wasn't all in. Like somebody didn't put all their effort into something. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody wanted to play that role of like seeing, how much they would not do, and that you would, it's like somebody not doing, they doing less and you doing more, like seeing how much less they could do and you still give to them. You know what I'm saying? Still be that way towards them. Clarify that love is in reverse. Clarify that love is in reverse. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What's the lovers in reverse? You got the Four Wands. With the Eight of Swords. And now somebody blocked from the Empress. Or somebody, or Empress got somebody blocked, or the universe got somebody blocked. Or in their head. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Somebody got some, like somebody is, got some bad memories, or they feel as though like, this is, something in their head, they in their head about, like they feel trapped or like stuck. Like somebody feel like they cut off, you know what I'm saying? And this is why somebody in their head a lot, because of the memories that they know they having with somebody. But it's like the things that they may have caused, they feeling it now, because it's like there's more good things that they know going on with you than you know going on with them. Like they got a lot of good memories of you, but it's overshadowed by the things they know they did to, see you for who you really were, and that you were really being genuine towards them. It's like somebody gave you a watered down version of who they really were or could have been, versus you giving somebody the raw and uncut you, and not caring whether you lost this person or gained this person, because at this point you don't even have the person anymore. So they don't realize you love them enough to leave their ass alone and not come back around after all this time. You get what I'm saying? But the Four Wands came out with this Lovers in reverse, to clarify. And somebody may have, carried on like they, didn't want, to settle down, like they didn't want, a stable foundation with you or something like that. Like they didn't see this with you or something like that. Or it's the fact that somebody had some created or caused some trust issues in a at a time where they did that, when it came to what they really wanted. And it's like somebody tainted their opportunity or that version of themselves in like this family. Because there's a connection here that somebody wanted or saw, but they created some type of trust. Trust just keep coming up, but you got the Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck with the Empress and the Ten of Wands. And I feel like somebody was wearing a mask too. If they, got with somebody else or they had something, else going on, like with a third party, they had other options and stuff like that. Like somebody, may have been with a false person. Like somebody was wearing a mask. But it's also giving like somebody, could be walking away from somebody else, you know, um, in some type of marriage or something like that, especially if they dealing with some trust issues, or they had some trust issues in a marriage or something. Or in a family dynamic. Because if it's given like somebody had, some issues, where they fell out of love with someone or they, started to like make situations worse that may not have been, intentional, but it's something that somebody did because they were holding back how they really, how when somebody try to move on to be with somebody else and they know they still got feelings for somebody else, but the more they keep trying to, live a facade, the more uncomfortable they are in that connection. The more uncomfortable they are. It's like, the minute they get by themselves, that's the only time somebody can think freely and have the thoughts that they want without having to look like something on their mind or something else is on their mind or somebody else is on their mind. Because it's like somebody feel like they messed up, or somebody trying to use, some type of dark divination that they did. Because with them doves and that Eight of Wands, it's giving like, somebody taking flight, to make some changes or whatever. And I feel like it's all because of the thoughts they was having of you. But it's the fact that they know they created some doubt, in your mind, because they had it. Somebody else had some doubt in their mind. They had some trust issues themselves, or rather, they would be doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like somebody broke their own heart because they were, creating obstacles for you. Clarify did the most to see if you still love me. Clarify did the most. Did the most to see if you still love me. Clarify did the most. You got the Ten of Wands that came out with the Strength in reverse at the bottom of the deck. Aries, Leo, Sag. Somebody, created a lot of obstacles. They, what I'm saying, put a lot of things in the way. Like somebody created a lot of obstacles. Like, especially if they felt like, you were doing a lot, you know what I'm saying, to like try to prove to this person something. Yeah. Because the strength is in reverse at the bottom of the deck. And somebody was not as confident. That's some this is some bullshit here. Because somebody didn't even have the goddamn strong will another person had. They had less than that and was creating obstacles and making, you know what I'm saying, causing situations that was unnecessary. Clarify this Ten of Wands. You got the Page of Pentacles in reverse. See what I'm saying? Because somebody knew that they was not being faithful. Like somebody was not, on their right path at the time. Like somebody was not, aligned with you at the time. Somebody was in a south node when you came across this person. Like they were still dealing with some things that they were avoiding. Like somebody was not, somebody was not trustworthy. And this is why somebody played games to see how you would feel about them, because somebody didn't trust, themselves, even though they know what they wanted. What's this Page of Pentacles in reverse with the Ten of Wands? Clarify this Page of Pentacles in reverse with the Ten of Wands. You got the Page of Swords in reverse and the Ace of Wands. Somebody was immature and not very trustworthy. Somebody was not to be trusted, but they were very immature. Like somebody, like somebody could have been I'm getting like somebody was talking shit about somebody, moving on or finding somebody, that would do right by you or be, somebody, deserving of you. Because with this Page of Swords in reverse is giving like somebody, making up shit, talking shit, about what somebody else got going on, like just making up stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't. Like somebody has some insecurities. That's just pure. Like somebody was insecure about another person's strength and them being able to, move past them or get over them or walk away from them altogether. to go towards something they deserve or somebody they know they want. You know what I'm saying? Especially if somebody was trying to talk shit about um if somebody felt like they was messing with somebody else but you still dealing with them. Like if you think I'm still, if you think or thought this person was involved with somebody else or had other options, but you still made yourself available to them. It's like somebody saying, "Oh shit, they just talking shit." You know what I'm saying? Or they feeling like this or acting like that or saying that stuff because I don't put this wood on them. You know what I'm saying? Or they, if they felt like this or they thought like that, they still, come around, and let me do this. We still, do this together. Especially thought if they weren't telling somebody this, it's the fact that somebody, actually, thought that maybe you were around them or with them because of what they were putting down, like in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Or what they were packing. And they may have felt like you wasn't gonna go nowhere. You may have felt like the collective wasn't gonna go nowhere because of no matter what they were saying or whatever they were, somebody was talking their shit about or whatever. With this page of swords and reverse page of pentacles, somebody very immature, very immature. And it's like somebody made problems and caused, a lot of situations, to pop off or a lot of insecurities, you know, to be something that ended up, if you wasn't insecure, you was insecure about this person because of how they came off and how they sent a lot of mixed signals. They may have had, different things that they would act like or be like, you know what I'm saying, one way around you and a different way when they not around you, but it's also, like I said, mixed signals. So a confusion of communication is a part, of what they were using or doing to use as some type of, expression or something like that, but it was toxic. It was unhealthy. And this person got a lot of outdated beliefs because they one-sided. They got a one-track mind. So them holding back most of the time allows them to sit back and watch somebody try their hardest to prove themselves to this person, give them things and go out of their way. But then, at the same time, this is somebody that will brag about and talk shit about and make up shit, about that person's feelings. You know what I'm saying? To say that, oh, they feelings just like that because it is, you know what I'm saying? Or this puss. But at the same time, it's, not that at all. It's not that at all. I feel like somebody was using that as a way to say, you know what I'm saying? Like some people will say, if you feel like that person is cheating or being unfaithful, you know what I'm saying? Or they playing in your face, the first thing you ought to do is withhold, giving yourself to this person. Like, that ought to be the first thing you do. You know what I'm saying? If you putting your mouth on them, keep your shit, you know what I'm saying, free and clear their ass. Because if you felt like that person was dealing with somebody else, the last thing you want to do is not the first thing you would do when you see them, and that's putting your damn mouth on them anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Because what you can't get in you can get in your mouth. Okay? So at this point, it's like somebody did the most to see if you still love them, divine feminine, but it was, a 10 of wands, at the same time, like I said, somebody caused a lot of, put a lot of on you, you know what I'm saying, to have to like figure out or, deal with based on what you already had going on. Or trying to make you feel as though, you were unfaithful or you were doing something or made you feel as though like they, you had something else going on and shit like that and made you say the stuff you were saying and, react to them the way you was reacting to them, but they made it as though or had it looking like, you was just being like that because, you know what I'm saying, felt some type of way about them. I thought they was messing around, but at the same time, they were doing the most, 10 of wands. You know what I'm saying? To come off as somebody, that was doing something else, to see how much and how, you know what I'm saying, how much you would put up with them if you thought that that's what they was doing. Like, how long will you stay with me if you think I'm doing that? You get what I'm saying? Like somebody creating a scene or obstacles, putting that stuff out there. You got 3 of cups at the bottom of the deck. So somebody, this could have been somebody you partied with, hung out with, you know, they could have had a baby on you and shit like that. They could have got somebody pregnant and you stayed with them. That's crazy. And that ain't for everybody. All right. That's not for everybody. But I do feel like somebody wanna, yeah. There was somebody who was immature in the past. They did the most, but they, want a passionate new beginning. They want to celebrate with you. They want to be consistent. They want this 10 of cups. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, somebody gonna have to get out when they wrong. Because I feel like, whatever game they played, when it came to trying to get you to express their feelings, it was their feelings that didn't get expressed. And now they stuck, possibly not being able to express it. Regret that I didn't show you how I really feel for you, clarify. Regret that I didn't show you how I felt. Why didn't they show the collective how they really felt? Why do they regret it now? What's going on? What got them regretting it now? You got the 2 of Swords in reverse and the King of Pentacles. Somebody could be where they need to be at financially. They could want to travel towards you. They could have, some type of good news, coming in, about their finances. You got the Devil at the bottom of the deck, child. With the fucking Star. So, yeah. Somebody, they regret it now because now somebody's seeing they outdated beliefs, they unhealthy ways and lifestyle, they materialistic views, mindset, you know what I'm saying? Some of the things that they at one time, didn't look at as toxic and, karmic and shit like that, when it came to a star. You know what I'm saying? Right behind this star is the 8 of Cups. So they may have, left you no choice, you know what I'm saying, but to walk away from like some type of emotional past. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they may be, having to accept that they gonna have to walk away, feeling the way they feel. Because, like I said, 4 of Cups, like somebody, could be meditating now. They could be looking back on, things, but this is, the mindset that they was in when it came to toying with your emotions and played with their own and, sacrifice their own in the process. You know what I'm saying? So with this 2 of Swords in reverse is giving somebody that, had a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying, coming in, or they, got a lot of different things being said or being told when it comes to whatever it was that fell in their lap. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like somebody got like this overload of feelings. You know what I'm saying? And even if they, financially stable now, and they ready to move forward and, they got a little money, you know what I'm saying, got some wealth going on and shit like that. Like that ain't something, you know what I'm saying? Like that's that materialistic, side of things where this person may have been looking at their status and their image and shit like that, being caught up in that and not realizing, that being in your status and being, trying to have that reputation about yourself or image don't mean everybody that come towards you really fuck with you like that. That's gonna be hard to find. Most people will say, you know what I'm saying, more money, more problems, but at the same time, you're gonna find it hard to find genuine people that really fuck with you. And some people pass away lonely and then had, the most money they ever had. You know what I'm saying? And left this, this earthly plane by themselves, the same way they came in. Clarify this Two of Swords in reverse. Why is this Two of Swords in reverse? Clarify the Two of Swords in reverse. You got the High Priestess. Pisces energy. With the Five of Swords now at the bottom of the deck. So somebody could be getting some type of help, mentoring with someone, or they talking to somebody. They could be, looking within. But it's also giving like somebody, actually isolating themselves. You know what I'm saying? They may be walking away from a lot of people, kind of, staying out to themselves, and they could be, experiencing, some loneliness now. Like somebody stuck, in their own head when it comes to these swords. Like this is some communication that is like, somebody wanting to say something, but, somebody done turn their back on them. It's like somebody don't have that open line of communication they used to have with a Queen of Cups. Somebody that was nurturing, caring, an empath that moved on to calmer waters. Shit, and somebody, getting toward their Ten of Cups by themselves. But I feel like, somebody now, they seeing that they need to use their intuition. They should have been using their intuition. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, playing around, in some dark divination, or, listening to somebody else thinking that that's what, somebody else was doing to them. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, at the end of the day, you live and you learn. You live and you learn. Clarify this High Priestess with the Two of Swords in reverse. What's the High Priestess with the Two of Swords in reverse? Three of Wands. Lesson learned. With the Judgment at the bottom of the deck. Somebody, could be waiting, for some type of action, to be able to take some type of action. They ready to, to move forward and like take that leap of faith. You know what I'm saying? But at this point, I feel like, they under judgment, for not using their intuition, for, playing on yours, or, somebody playing on another person's intuition. Because now somebody is seeing something differently now. Like they got a different perspective. Like somebody sees them, their own behavior now, how it looked then. Like somebody didn't realize they behavior, was the very behavior that they were saying that they were trying to avoid. But this is the behavior and the mindset they was in for a long time, and they may have been getting, numbers from women, men, but it may not have meant, that they were making any progress. It's just the fact that they would align with people, that needed to work on themselves too and was refusing to do that, the same as them. But they were bending, to this person actions and stuff because they needed to see what the collective saw. They needed to see what this person saw. And that's that, this is a lot of immature behavior for somebody that's supposed to, know what they doing, and they don't. Or think they got some control over their life and they don't. They life is really out of control. So it's like somebody now is realizing, this was a lesson learned. This is, them having to accept that, if they waiting on their shift to come in now, it's only because this person had to go through some more things. They had to accept, a little more than they bargained for. Like somebody had to face a lot more than they expected about themselves. By themselves. Like somebody had to be left alone and left alone for good. You know what I'm saying? Like left. I'm getting how that woman left that man on that Madea movie where she was married to that attorney and he kicked her out the house, you know what I'm saying, and threw her stuff out and moved another woman in, and then he ended up falling on hard times and hurt himself. And she left him in the tub in his own, left him in his wheelchair in his own feces, you know what I'm saying, for a day or two, or probably longer. But that's what I'm getting. Like somebody left alone in their own shit. So they have to deal with themselves and, deal with what they being shown, especially, when it comes to them possibly getting some type of guidance, spiritual guidance. Whether they talking to a mentor or a counselor or something like that, or somebody they feel like, is on their spiritual journey or got like a lot of spiritual knowledge about things, and helping them look at something in the spiritual sense, like on the spiritual side of things, like how that affects, they life on a spiritual journey. Like this is what you gonna be faced with. These are the things you're gonna have to, take account. You're gonna have to take accountability. That's part of your spiritual journey is, facing facts, you know what I'm saying, and dealing with that stuff head on instead of trying to play games and, point the finger at somebody else. Like you played a part in this. Like whatever it is somebody dealing with when they come to you, whatever they feeling when they come to you, this is, what they made it out to be. They actions, caused this to be this way. So in order for your actions to cause something to be this way, for their actions or your actions collective, everybody played a part in this. But everybody has to take accountability for their part in order to move forward with anybody else, even each other. So you may not want to reconcile with a past person, especially if this is not somebody that put their hands on you. Okay, if somebody done, crossed that line and violated you, yes, you deserve to move on and you should. But that this is somebody that needed to, get out of that element of their life or get out of that version of themselves, however they need, or whenever they needed to get out of it and it happened, then they did, what you did just at a later time. And they had to face, they part in a situation by way of, them actually talking to somebody or just isolating themselves, from people they feel like, they entertained, at a time where they was like this. And they may be feeling like, damn, I was around people that was doing this. I thought that was hip or cool, you know what I'm saying? I had a lot of people, other people around me, that was the same way. But I never looked at my actions being like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I was getting what I wanted. Well, they were getting the outcome they wanted, but, they also ended up playing themselves when it came to their feelings. Somebody expressed theirs, but now how they really felt and feel now, they can't even express it to you because, you have, they under judgment. But that's because this person is looking at the upside, you know what I'm saying, to their actions, you know what I'm saying, and taking that accountability when it comes to accepting like what you know what I'm saying, didn't have to be the way it was. But also looking at the fact that this is exposure, you know what I'm saying, this is You know, you being shown who this person was, you seeing who this person was, whether they wanted to show it to you or not, whether they wanted it revealed to you or not. They were being shown who they were. They were being shown, you know, they needed to, you know what I'm saying, stand in their power. If they're going to be, you know, with you, they're going to have to stand in their power. They're going to have to take some accountability. They're going to have to be consistent with it too. You know, they can't be an emperor if they, you know, out here lowballing and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Fruit gazing and shit like you can't do that. You're not gonna be able to be with an empress. An empress ain't gonna be able to be with her emperor if you out here lollygagging and shit. You know what I'm saying? What do they want the collective to say yes to? Clarify, say yes. What do they want them to say yes to? Clarify, say yes. What do they want this say yes to? What do they want this yes? What is this yes about? What do they want the collective to say yes to? Say yes. You got the Tower in reverse. With the world at the bottom of the deck. With the Four Swords. Somebody releasing that need to control, you know, the outcome, but they also, you know, gonna have to let the chips fall where they may. They're gonna have to accept, you know, if you do or don't say yes. This world out here could be, you know, a new beginning, you know, when it comes to fulfillment, when it comes to moving forward, when it comes to them possibly, you know, being at a distance. From you, they could want to resolve that and, you know, bring some type of peace to this situation. You know, when it comes to that distance, they may want to, you know, resolve that, like, you know, get past that. Because they, you know, may have in the past, like, being refusing, you know, to change their ways, you know what I'm saying? Like looking at something as they fault or playing, you know what I'm saying? Having, especially if somebody was refusing or, you know, rejecting change or refusing change, like especially spiritual influence and not wanting to take accountability, you know what I'm saying? But it's things that they know if they make that decision, it's a lot of things that's going to change somebody's life. And it's sometimes scary for some people that don't want to make them decisions and not know what they expect. But I feel like whatever it is that this person wants you to say yes to is something that you may not know and they may not know where it's going to lead. But they're going to have to accept, you know, whatever it come with this Tower in reverse. They'll have to accept whatever it come with. Because it may not be something that they feel like, you know, is something they deserve, especially if they feel like they don't deserve it. But this is, you know, at some point they was resisting change. You know what I'm saying? But the more they kept resisting change, the worse the shit was just gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna be. Nobody's gonna stick around to make you until you change, but eventually you will because you ain't gonna have no other choice. Because change is gonna happen whether you make it or not. So The only thing they can do, collective, is accept that whatever change is gonna happen is for the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because, somebody doesn't say yes, don't mean that life won't go on. You know what I'm saying? But they want to resolve some type of issue, when it comes to something they want to lay to rest. Like, they could, you could be at a distance, you could be healing right now, from this, or this is, them wanting to heal things between you and them, at a time where they, was refusing to go in the hermit. Like, they know they're going to have to hear about that from you. Clarify the tower in reverse. That's why they judgment. That's why somebody under judgment. Like, somebody that was resisting change because they didn't want to be the person that needed to work on them, and the problem was them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how somebody want to be able to keep pointing the finger at somebody else and blaming somebody else, but they don't want to take accountability for what they did for that person to respond like that. It's like somebody saying, if you hadn't hit my child wouldn't have bit you. Or if you hadn't stepped on my child's foot, then they wouldn't have had, they wouldn't have stepped on your foot. You did something in order for that person to feel that way or do that to you. Like, they didn't just do that to you, just because. Like, you did something for them to react like that. Or you did something for y'all to end up in that situation. Or you did something for you not to be able to go back toward that person or go back to that job. Like, what did you do with that job? Why did they really let you go? Like, that kind of thing. Clarify the tower in reverse. What's the tower in reverse? You got Scorpio on here. The tower. Clarify the tower in reverse. Especially if somebody was trying to resist, like making some type of change or walking away from a lifestyle or a person that they may have had some type of lifestyle or connection with, or some type of reputation they used to have. Like, somebody don't want to walk away from that out of fear of like what they know people going to start thinking and saying about them and stuff like that. Clarify the tower in reverse. Like, trying to avoid, whatever chaos they know gonna come if they make them changes. Like, man, I make them changes, people gonna start thinking this and talking about I'm whooped. You know what I'm saying? I'm this, I'm that. People gonna be making fun of me because of this or that. Like, clarify the tower in reverse. What's the tower in reverse? You got the Ten of Pentacles. With the Ace of Pentacles. So somebody got like a new, financial beginning. Like, something is going to be, restored. Like, stability and things like that is going to be restored. Like, I feel like somebody was resisting change, but they want you to say yes. Mm-hmm. Somebody wants some type of stability. They want, some stability with you. Like, they feel, how somebody feel like they have everything they need. They just don't have a person. Like, somebody could be, where they need to be at and things like that. But they may feel as though something ain't complete without them having somebody with them. Maybe that was their goal, to have some type of, success or something like that. And they may just say they got the success, but they don't have a person now. The person they may have been trying to be successful with, or the reason why they want to be successful, you know what I'm saying, in the first place may have been because they want to, to come off as, a boss or whatever. But at the same time, you got to be able to handle your affairs and not have your affairs handle you. Handle your business. Don't let your business handle you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like somebody now, was possibly in the past, like refusing to make some type of change because of what they felt like, that was going to come with, and not knowing how they was going to deal with that, or how that would go, or what would happen. But because they, resisted that change, the change still happened. Like that tower still came. The exposure still happened. The ending still happened. You know what I'm saying? So, what's the tower in reverse with this Ten of Pentacles? Like somebody wants you to, have this stability, with them. Like somebody wants you to having something, stable with them. Like they see some type of stability with you. Investing, a good investment. What's the tower in reverse with the Ten of Pentacles? Clarify the tower in reverse with the Ten of Pentacles. You got the Knight of Cups. So somebody, possibly now wants to follow their heart, This is somebody, coming back from the past. Like somebody following their heart. They want to celebrate with you, but, this is like the ending of a cycle that had to happen, in order for something new to begin. Like something, hidden to be revealed. You know what I'm saying? About somebody's insecurities. And I feel like as an empath, a healer, like that's what this is. Like somebody, is a very healing energy. But I feel like that's an energy that, is also comes with a divine feminine. And I feel like somebody is, being reminded of who somebody is to them. It's like somebody, the devil enters, like somebody knew they was a jerk, at that time. This could be an older person, but like I said, they were being immature. You know what I'm saying? And I just made a post about that on my platform earlier this morning. Yeah. What's this pick out a dog together about? Pick out a dog together? What's that about? If I pick out a dog together, what is that about? Clarify. Somebody lost a dog in the past. Because I seen the Four of Swords, but I'm going to reshuffle. Somebody lost a dog in the past. You may not have known about it. Collective, they may not have told you about that dog. Or this is their way of, having something with you, maybe because they want to, start somewhere with including you in something. If I pick out a dog together. Why is that out here? Pick out a dog together. What is this pick out a dog together about? What is that about? The Sun. With the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Like somebody, sees that as, some type of happiness or health. You know what I'm saying? Like they feel like, that's some type of happiness that somebody is seeing, them having with you. Like somebody feels like that's something they want to share in with you when it comes to, them picking out a pet. Y'all picking out a pet together is them, trying to include you, as y'all doing something together that brings both of y'all some type of happiness, something that you both, got some type of connection to. It's like adopting a child together. Clarify the sun. Leo energy out here. You have Leo in your chart. Could be talking to a Leo. Clarify the sun. They got a pet together. Got a pet together. Clarify the sun. What's the sun? Clarify the sun. Yeah. Okay, you got the Judgment out here, and you got the Five of Wands. So somebody, it's like stepping into their calling, right? But it's also giving like somebody, going toward their calling, but this is them, knowing that it's gonna come with some type of conflict, or some type of backlash or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Possibly in a group, like they may be a friend group, a family, or something like that. But this King of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. This is somebody that know they gotta have boundaries with people. So this is possibly like somebody that may have lost a pet in the past, but this is also, somebody that may have had a dog that, was very protective of them. But that dog may not be around anymore, but this dog is something they symbolize together that, is, they feel like it's bringing them some happiness they want to share with you in a moment where they having a new addition, and having, you back is them, including, an addition to that, but as protection, you know what I'm saying, for you and them when it comes to the conflict that they know is going to come from some type of group, or when when it comes to the people that they done been around, the circle that they in, when that's them. This is somebody's way of sharing something with you that they feel like, is part of their journey, that this leap of faith that they taking with you to go toward their calling, but also be protective and guarded, and guarded over because of the conflict that something is going to come with. Like there's going to be some competition. There's going to be, some people that's going to, like try to, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody is going to, try to slide in, you know what I'm saying? But they know they got to have boundaries. You got the Knight of Pentacles right behind that. But right behind this King of Swords, you got the Knight of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and the Nine of Swords. Somebody going through like a whoever this is, they went through like an ego death or something. Because somebody done been in their head, about a lot of things that they done said or didn't say or both. But they know they're going to be met with some type of conflict. They know that, you know what I'm saying? But there's a group of people that this person, possibly feel like, that they gonna have to, be on the lookout for when it comes to them going toward their calling. It's a certain group of people they feel like, they gonna have to be on guard about, you know what I'm saying, with their boundaries. And whoever this King of Swords is, like, this is somebody that is very sharp with their words as well. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that knows how to read a room, and they know how to, they may also have a gift of gab too. You know what I'm saying? They have a way with words, but they coming in as somebody, consistent. Especially if they, got a job to where they travel, or they may travel for work, or they may be, somebody that's, possibly like moving forward or looking, forward to some type of financial, gain, to come in for them once they make this move. They could be relocating, finding another job. They could, be getting a promotion, that's, you know, allowing them, to have that time to like travel and have that extra money, to spend and travel and do things and stuff like that. So they, know that they want to be able to share something with you, but I feel like it's going to come with some type of conflict, within a group. You know what I'm saying? By them being under judgment right now, because this person, is having to accept and finally go toward their calling, whatever that is. Okay, but I'm gonna end it here, collective. This is Divine Eye Mystic Tarot. Make sure you hit that like, that subscribe on your way out. But at the end of the day, collective, this is your decision. Use your intuition, your discernment. But I feel like, when it comes to other people elevating and doing the work, putting in the work, that's not work that they are going to be counseled in, thinking that just because they get you back, that's it. That's the end all. Like the battle, the fight is only just begun. You know what I'm saying? So, and if this is a divine contract, this is somebody that is having to accept that they calling is not going to be, something that they can just take a back seat to and it's smooth sailing. No, that person going to have to put in their work to get you back, to stay with you, to protect you. If they want, that healing and, that guidance and that support from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to work both ways. So, good luck, collective. I will be back with another reading, but it probably be on my other channel, Intuitive Tarot. So, you can check me out over there. But in the meantime, you guys, make sure you do something nice for someone today, even if you don't know them. All right? And until next time, those of you that genuinely love me, know that I love you too. Mwah. Bye.